Well, welcome back to another video. We're back here on the DB9. We've got to get this engine out because it is seized. So we're starting that process today, and well, what better way to start than to drain the fluid. So we're going to drain the coolant, drain the oil, and we'll see how they look. And I've got a feeling when we drain the oil, we're going to get a whole load of water come out first, but let's find out. Before getting into that though, it's time to get the under trays off once and for all, and I'm taking no prisoners this time. Gee, that was a faff. One down. Right, well, this one was particularly tough and I've managed to pry it off. But if you have a look, this is what I'm dealing with. Look how that is just sort of seized on there. That was never coming loose, which is annoying. So pretty sure at some point I'm gonna have to drill that back out, re-tap a sort of new thread for a new screw to go into. So again, something else I've got to do, but yeah, I guess it's to be expected with a rust car. But anyway, a few down now, we're actually making some progress. Might not look too pretty, but we're getting the result done. Or we're getting the result we wanted, so. Okay, well that seems to be most of the screws out. I've got a few in my pocket from the end there as well. Those ones came out okay, bit of push, but some of them, as you can see, just broke as soon as I tried to do it. So again, gonna have to re-tap some screws and re-tap some holes. But as you can see, I've had to make some marks on it, but to be honest, I think once I give us a proper clean, it won't be all that noticeable. But yeah, anyway, job done. This has held me up long enough, but now we can get under the car. All right, so first up is the oil. Just want to make sure I get a good catch on this, to be honest. Let's go this way. It should just drop straight down, hopefully. Gonna let the plug go into the basin. Wow, it's a long plug. Here we go. Hey, look at that. Now what's interesting about that is I believe we should have seen water first, if there was water in there. So that's actually a promising sign. I mean, I'll change the oil anyway because I'm going to be stripping the engine down, but it actually doesn't look too bad. But yeah, anyway, I'll let this drain. We'll come back in a sec. So this was a strange one. If water was in the oil sump from the flood, it would have come out first. Well, as this is draining, I have to say I've not seen a speck of water yet, which should actually be a good sign. I mean, it's making me doubt whether this engine is actually seized. It's all very strange now. I'm really confused, to be honest. Nonetheless, once the oil was filled up to take to the recycling centre, it was on to draining the coolant, which didn't go too well. Well, that did not go well. I didn't realise, I thought it would just come out the hose, but it was coming out both ends. So I think we're just gonna have to try and slowly let it out bit by bit. But yeah, I need to clean this up first. Lucky me. With some blankets left to slowly soak up the coolant, I gave it another go, and this time around, there was no such issue. There we go. Ooh, go on that way, this way. Well, that's a bit better. Just sort of letting it out bit by bit. This didn't take too long to drain out, as most of it was already on the floor. So I put the hose back on and clamped it up. Okay, fluids are out. All right, well, fluids have been drained. I'm gonna leave these to soak a bit, already have been for quite a while. But yeah, we're gonna get this back down, get the battery disconnected, and then we're gonna actually just start to go through this process of removing the engine, which is a very, very scary thought. At this point, all I've got to do is remove the remaining trays and undo the bolts above the exhaust by the heat shield. So at long last, all the under trays are off the cut. All right, now we're officially all done. Under trays are off or loosened. So yeah, let's drop this car down. Let's start just taking apart this V12 engine, or taking it out. So I have decided I'm gonna lift the body off. Decided if I do run out of time, if we do lease the warehouse in the meantime, then I'll put it on a trailer and I'll just have to let someone else finish it. But I've basically been quoted worst case from like start to finish, £15,000 for the full rebuild, everything done, working car basically. So, and they basically said anything I do between then and now will obviously reduce the cost, because a lot of it's labor. So yeah, we're definitely not going to be losing money on this one, but obviously I want to see if I can get this done myself. So let's get cracking. And don't you worry, I'm obviously not planning on doing this completely blind. There is a good YouTube channel, I think it's DB9 Garage. I think it's a guy called Gary runs that. So shout out to Gary, by the way. If you're keen on your Astons, go follow him, because yeah, he's already tried, well, in the process of doing this, and his work's fantastic. So big props to him. But I also have the workshop manual, and thankfully there's a whole bit on how to remove the engine. So let's get going. All right, well, step one, it says, is to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. Shout out to Pete as well, because he's been messaging me on Instagram, a former Aston Martin specialist. He's told me that it's quite common to get the rust around here, so that's not an indicator or an indication that water's been in here. But anyway, step one, done. Only says to disconnect the negative. I'm guessing you probably could disconnect the positive. It's not really going to make any difference. But yeah, I'm just going to follow it by the book. Right, the next step is actually to degas the aircon system. Now, it's not something you're supposed to do on your own. It's actually illegal. So I've actually got that booked in for the next couple of days for someone to come in and do it, mobile person. So we're just going to skip that stage for now, but obviously that will get done probably before the next video comes out. But yeah, anyway, that's booked in, but we'll skip past it for now. And then the step after that is obviously, once it's been degassed, is to disconnect the aircon lines. Next up is to disconnect the braces. We've already done it on the other side, so just this one side to do. And obviously I've already taken off the actual engine brace itself, but yeah, anyway, get this off. There we go. So here we go, starting the 50-step process to removing the engine from the car. First up is the corner brace. I've already done the other side, so it's just this side. It's just held on with 2 screws by the wing and 2 nuts and bolts at the scuttle, or cowl if you're American. Right. It was attached to the washer fluid reservoir tube, but this just unbolts. The next step was to remove the plastic cover in front of the radiator. All right, well, the 2 screws are now out. A bit more fiddly than I was expecting, but we should be able to remove this now, I hope. It's all a bit of a squeeze when you're dealing with a V12, isn't it? There we go. Cover out. Next up, I have to disconnect the bonnet latch, shortly followed by the reinforcement struts on the cross member. Then lastly, the power steering reservoir. So I think quickly lift this back up. Let's try and get these wheel arch liners out, because then, yeah, then we can just follow the route as we're meant to. But yeah, obviously with the wheel arches in, we're just gonna keep coming stuck. So let's do that quickly. Okay, wheel arch liners on the front are both out now. Bit of a menial task, so didn't bother filming it, but we've now got all the access into here. And yeah, doesn't look too bad. We got washer bottle. I remember seeing that needs to come out. Thankfully, not much to drain on that. I believe pretty much all of this will eventually come out as well. So now we can just keep cracking on. I'll do the wheel arch liners at the back further down the line. I think I'll keep it on just for now. And the wheels, just in case I need to move the car for whatever reason. Alrighty, so making good progress so far. Basically onto this bit, remove the inner bolts and the reinforcement brackets from the inner wing. Now that is the brackets down here, and then there's some on the other side down here as well. And obviously the brackets, there's 3 each side, but then it also says remove the header tank to gain access. There is a wiring harness plug connected to the header tank on the underside. Your words speak much louder than all my fears. Sometimes I just wanna disappear, running until I can feel you near. I need a new purpose, I'm looking for so much more. Don't leave me here searching, you're just what I'm longing for. When times are getting crazy and everything seems hazy, is there some place for safety I could go? Right, header tank should be out. There we go. So it's got another pipe underneath, and then this is where I'll sit it down. Oh god, so that's in. Trying to show you. This little hole here, that's where the connection goes to. There's a warning about that. Yeah, that's off. I'm just gonna go drain the rest out. Anyway, now that's out the way, as you can see, these are the bolts we want, 1, 2, 3, and the bracket. Same down here, and then it's the same on the other side. There's one there and one there. Okay, we've finally got the brackets and the screws off, and I've just labelled them so I know which one's which. For instance, passenger front, driver front, and then the other 2 are labelled. So we can put those away now. And yeah, I'll label this up as step 12, which again was another idea from Gary on DB9 Garage, and it just means I'm not losing anything. So yeah, get that labelled up. Let's just get that in properly. And here we go. What were they? Inner wing. Let's put a big 12. Perfect. Well, a few of you have mentioned that I should check the starter, or at least check the crank turns. And I have actually done this in the previous video. I just didn't actually film it, or didn't actually put it in the final edit. But I tried to do it from the top coming down with just a regular ratchet. But anyway, now I can get the actual sort of breaker bar on it. I'm just going to show you, but there's no movement in that at all. I'm putting a lot of force in it. I can feel the car wobbling on the lift. So yeah, I'm almost certain it's not a starter. I mean, the starter could be bad as well. It's entirely possible. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this crankshaft is broken, at least. My money's on crankshaft. What's your money on? I mean, let's be honest, Aston owners adore their cars, and fair enough, rightly so, they're lovely. So they're not just gonna chuck it away as soon as it gets in a bit of water. They're actually gonna do a test, or they're gonna probably go for insurance, probably send it to a mechanic, diagnose it, and they've probably diagnosed it as a seized engine. I feel like if they diagnosed it as just a bad starter, they would have just replaced it, obviously. Then they wouldn't want to get rid of their car just like that, and the insurance company wouldn't want to be paying out for probably the full value of this car as well. So you've got to assume they've done the full diagnosis process. I really don't think a car like this goes to salvage auction as a non-runner unless it's really, really bad. Anyway, first day done on the Aston. I think although it looks pretty similar to how I started, we've actually done quite a bit. So I'm quite happy with that. But anyway, see ya in the morning. Alrighty, well, new day and a good start. So after I signed off yesterday, I actually went round to the mechanic to see how the Mustang was getting on. They haven't actually been able to start it yet, which is a bit annoying. But what they did do is they do have a sort of regas machine for the AC. So they've popped around here and they've actually just degassed this for me this morning. So that's really good news. So that means we can actually disconnect these AC lines. So we'll start there and then we'll carry on where we were yesterday. A nice easy task to start the day as each AC line is just held on with one 8mm bolt. Okay, stage done.
Okay, well, I believe this is the bulkhead seal. So push that back. And I suspect it's that bolt there. Well, that is now done, as you can see the screw there. And that was 100% my least favourite task so far. That was horrible, crawling under there. For some reason, there's an issue with this seat. It only seems to want to go forward, not backwards. So I couldn't even get myself more space. So yeah, not fun. Okay, next step, I'm similar position. And basically got to disconnect these. This is not comfortable at all. Yeah, sometimes you just wish they thought about this a little bit more. I mean, this is not nice. But yeah, I'm gonna get these out. Catch you in a sec. Okay, all disconnected. That one's just still on the little wall, but yeah, they're all out. I think there were 5 in the end. So yeah, all good. And a little update, this is now my new least favorite task on this car. But yeah, it looks like, from what I can see, it gets a bit easier from here. So let's go. I'm being giving birth. Whew. All right, well, lift the vehicle and make it safe. Well, yeah, just done that. I mean, we've got the arch liners off the front already, which is what it warns about, saying, you know, disconnect them first, the wheel arch liners, before you put the jacking point in. And obviously on the back, we're already on the jacking points, just about on that one. But yeah, we're on there. So yeah, all good there. Notice that remove all the under trays and the shear plates, record the positions of the 4 spacers. So again, I've taken all these off, but I'll just show you on the spacers. I didn't actually need to mark them in the end because you can literally see exactly where they were from age. So that's easy enough. And then, yeah, I've just got them all in there. And so next up is remove all of the road wheels and the arches. So we just got to do the rear one. And then we basically start on the front end, which is the front bumper, air filter boxes. Let's go. Thankfully, the rear tyres were not over-torqued like the front ones, so I was able to remove the nuts properly, but I wasn't happy with my jacking points. All right, well, just looking at that jacking point on the rear, I don't really like how it's sitting on the back left. It's not fully on, so obviously I haven't got the wheels on the front, so I'm just gonna lift the front end with the forklift and then drop the lift down. And then at that point, then I'll just readjust it. It just needs bringing in just a fraction, just to make sure it's all properly on there. So. Just enough so it's supported. So now if I were to drop this down, so that's holding, this will drop down. You can bring this in just literally a fraction. Oh, come on. There we go. And now that'll properly line up. So, excellent. I'm just doing that just to protect it. I know, some quite big jack points. All right, lift it up. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, that's much better. Good stuff. Now I can turn my attention back to the wheels and arch liners. Well, job done. And just look at the state of this. I mean, these just fell apart like that and that. And then, yeah, there's just so many screws. Ended up cutting a couple out. I think it was underneath. Right, this one, cut that out. And can't see it now. Here, this piece. Again, they just seem to spin, right? I might be able to get some WD-40 on that now and get it out, but the actual bracket itself was pretty rusted. I'm thinking of actually just changing it, because obviously that's going to be an issue, because obviously we got the brake line here and that's pretty damn important. So yeah, probably going to have to replace the brackets as well, but at least it's one down and one to go. And I can't wait to just get this bit done, because afterwards it all looks a lot more reasonable. All stuff up in the engine bay, you know, air filter, bumper, fuse box, etc. So just need to crack on, get this bit out, and then we can get on to the more interesting stuff. Jesus Christ. Now filthy. Right, this is the overfill cap, just for when you fill up. Put that back on for now. Obviously that will latch on. In due course, yeah. Wheel arch liners are out, and that is a job I hope I never have to do again. I think when we put new ones back on, fresh bolts, we might even need some new arch liners themselves. But yeah, God, I'm just relieved that's done. We can actually get onto some fun stuff now, and I can stop cutting myself. This is one of the front wheel arch liners I took off yesterday, and just look at this. It's literally just glued on. Like, the bracket is just glued on. No wonder these things start spinning. I mean, that's such a stupid design. I mean, that's never, oh, come on, like, you get some water in there, that's just gonna, so blooming annoying. But anyway, wheel arch liners are done. Next task. So next up is to remove this airbox, and I've just been having a quick look around first. Well, first things first, it's actually loose, and there's a bracket under here that is broken off already, and we're missing the screw. And if you actually look at this air hose, it's actually not even on. So, or hose, pipe, whatever you want to call it, it's not even on. So invariably, it wasn't very hard to remove. Once I disconnected it from the bracket attaching it to the chassis, it was ready to drop. The other side was in slightly better condition though, so there were a couple extra bolts to remove before dropping it out of the way. Alrighty, well, 2 air filter boxes are out, and well, you don't have to look very far to see we've got a couple of issues with one. Obviously the part over there that's broken I alluded to before, but also we've got a break down here, which is where this bracket's meant to come off. So we're probably actually going to need to replace this part, because obviously it's been lost in the flood. I don't have the part, it's not lying around or anything. So probably have to replace that, but this one's okay. Obviously I'm going to replace the filters inside, but yeah, just look how damp it is. You can see that has definitely been swimming. Good old Michael Phelps, this car, eh? Next up is to disconnect the bumper, but frustratingly, this caused an issue. All right, well, this is, as you can see, it's all just rusted away. And again, it's just spinning, and this part is just pulling away, a bit like we had with the wheel arch liners. It's just, I'm even holding a piece in the top here and trying to turn it from there, and it's just not doing it. It just all wants to turn together. And naturally, when this is turning sort of around, it's just pulling this away. So yeah, bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, this whole bumper, I think I'm just going to replace, because I think this is all part of it. And yeah, it's pretty horrible, but it's a bit annoying. It's now affecting the wing. But yeah, if this keeps happening, I mean, I think I should be able to repair little bits like that. So that shouldn't be a problem, but obviously we've got 2 more on this side and 2 more on the other side. And I'm just hoping it doesn't keep going like this, because otherwise we've got a bit of repair work that we were not expecting to have to do. And bumper is off as well, a few screws each side, and then they're just on clips on the edge here. Yeah, I've still got the electrics to unplug, but otherwise, next task. Alrighty, well, there is a suggestion that actually, just as I'm reading your comments, as I'm working on the car, that I should basically take off the inlet manifold and then take out the spark plugs. We'll then lose the compression, and then we should be able to crank the engine over manually with a breaker bar
and we'll be able to see then if the engine is seized or not. And it doesn't seem like the most fun job, but I think definitely worth doing just to see before we continue any further, just to confirm 100% the engine is buggered. I mean, I don't know why I'm doing that, because either way, it's not good. For some reason, the car's not starting. But yeah, I think then at least we can just eliminate it entirely. We don't have to continue with the whole process if, for whatever reason, it cranks over.
So I started off with removing the rearmost screw, and it's a nuisance to do because the scuttle is fixed in the DB9 and it cannot be removed like in most cars. There's a small plate you can remove to get a better angle, but even then you need a fair few adjustable and extensions to get on the end of it. I managed in the end though before starting on the rest of the manifold screws, which were considerably easier to remove. With the protective tray off, I can now remove the ignition coils. These just provide voltage to the spark plug so it can, well, spark.
So really frustratingly, I can't actually get these spark plugs out right now because I'm sort of in the midst of getting ready to move just for when that day comes. As you can see, it's all basically there, ready to go. And I'm pretty sure in that packing, I've packed up the spark plug nut, not expecting to have to need it, I guess. So yeah, I'm just gonna buy another one tomorrow morning. I think they're only like a few quid. So I'll do that, but yeah, I've got a few errands to run now. But yeah, I'll be back in on the weekend and we'll keep going. So yeah, we'll cut to the weekend. See you in a sec.
Now armed with my spark plug socket, I can start removing the spark plugs. I'm just using an empty cardboard packet for eggs, as there's 12 places I can put my 12 spark plugs in, which is ideal. I've marked up the front of the egg case so I know which spark plug came from which cylinder. Interestingly, with the fuel rails out of the way, I was actually able to get that awkward rearmost screw with a socket wrench. This was much better, and I'd recommend this to anyone else undergoing this process. Okay, well, spark plugs are all out.
Well, that was not a task for the faint-hearted whatsoever, but yeah, it's quite interesting because this last one that we've taken out seems to be quite damaged.
If you're not sure what you're looking at, look how the other 3 spark plugs in shots have the brown section loop over from the side to the middle. It's been completely shattered on the spark plug in question, which seems a likely sign that this cylinder of the engine is going to be where the bad news is.
So let's find out once and for all if this engine is seized or not.
I will get a boroscope down the cylinders in the next episode to take a closer look, but for now, I wasn't very hopeful that even without compression, this engine was going to crank. I'll soon have my answer.
Yeah, it's not budging. So the engine is seized. Now, obviously, if you've liked this video and you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below because it's confirmed now. Next episode, the body's coming off, the engine's coming out. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.